Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. I appreciate you coming, and we have a very special guest this evening. One of the most organic and authentic comedians that I've had the pleasure of meeting in the New York City area. He's from Philadelphia. Ladies and gentlemen, can we get an applause or whatever we're going to decide to do for my brother, MONROE Martin. What's up, brother?
What up, man? I like that. Organic.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah, you're one of those people that what I kind of talk about with every artist who comes on this show is not only what they inspire me by, but like what I like about them. And you have, when I watch your sets, when I have the pleasure of like, we're not always on the same shows because you definitely started before me and all of that. But when we do either cross paths or we're on the same show, it's like you talk about your truth.
Yeah.
Very consistently and vulnerable. Never to a fault though, because like some people get vulnerable and it's like it's sad. It's like sad to watch.
Anytime, because I'll get there sometime when I'm working out shit, but I hate when it goes there because I'm like, I don't want y'all niggas to be sad. Like it's funny and it's fucked up, but it's fucked up and it's because it's funny and shit like that. And I'm like, I want people to let their guard down because I feel like in order for them to see why I see it's funny, they gotta trust me. And it's really hard to build, like when in short sets, you try to do that shit in short sets. You like try to get the audience to trust you. So
for like a minute. And
then you go, ah! And then I'm like, no, I wasn't ready.
I wasn't ready. You pulled it out too fast. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like, fuck, okay.
But
organic is, I never would have described myself as organic. Because that basically means what, like natural? Yeah. And I never see myself as naturally funny.
Really?
Yeah. Like the person, Reggie knows this, I'm like, I fucking envy, I don't envy Reggie, like hate him, but I'm like, he's so naturally
to give context
funny.
To people who don't know this specific person that he's talking about, Reginald Conquest, or Reggie Conquest, he's another dope guy. Like, I'll probably actually have him on the show. But you say he's
so
more
naturally, like he's like the type of guy who's like, he's funny and then it goes into, he can also do both at the same time. Be the conversational, funny, and personality is the same on stage. And I'm glad you see that it looks like this shit is natural.
Yeah. He's faking. Well, I was like, I'm lying.
That's like a motherfucker who's been getting his shit Jerry curl so long you thought he had good hair. I thought you had good hair this whole time.
I thought this dude was Puerto Rican the whole time.
No, he been juicing.
But every morning though. So if anything,
on top of that shit.
Maybe it's not organic, but it is consistent.
I'm very consistent with it. I'm practicing, man. That's how I feel like that's mastery, just practice.
Yeah, because, now saying that, because I'd actually love to know a little bit more before I like actually the specifics of it all. What are some of like your early, because I know this about you, that you grew up in foster care. That's like a major part of your origin story and such. But what are the comedic elements that got you to kind of here? Besides
comedic elements. And you mean not just comedians, because I grew up watching Comic View, but nothing really outside that. Like, I hate saying, I grew up black, but I just had the inner city experience where everything was urbanized. So I wasn't watching Comedy Central, you know what I mean? That was just like a TV show, and you just seen white people on it. So I'm like, I'm BET. And fucking BET all day.
Wow.
In school, like, cause when you go to a bad school and you're in advisory, they're playing fucking BET. So I'm in advisory class.
You saw Boys in the Hood 1,000 times.
1,000 times.
Yeah.
Doing geometry, me watching Amistad. I'm like, what the hell is this doing?
Yeah. See, that's fair, because I grew up in that different space.
The comedic shit came from my surroundings, came from the people in my life. And my mom is really funny.
Okay.
Like, she is. Like, if you ever met my mom, like, she comes off like she ain't always all the way there, but she's sharp and she's funny and she's like laid back with it, and she'll say some shit and you'll be like, get the fuck out of here. She'll be like, why y'all laughing? But she knows exactly why she's laughing.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I get it from.
Okay.
I think I get it from her because she's always like, I've seen her in shitty situations, and then she'll be able to like be laughing at some fucked up shit, and you'll be like, oh, okay, it's cool.
You can laugh at the trauma?
You can laugh at the trauma, but I didn't know how to apply that to comedy until like I really moved in New York and started doing comedy. And then a comic, Keith Robinson, another comic, he was like, yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? You should be talking about your life and this, that, and the third. And I was like, all right, I'll try that. And then once I did that, I was like, oh shit, I see what my mom got out of it. It was like being able to make fun of fucked up situations kind of just allows you to let that shit go a little bit, like shed a little bit of that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you feel guilty about shit.
It's cathartic. It's like, I get you.
Yeah.
So wait, when you
so
first
my mom
started,
was funny. Most of my foster moms were hilarious. I always lived with old black women, and old black women are funny. Old black women are probably some of the funniest people on this planet.
Because they don't care no more.
They don't give a fuck no more.
Yeah.
Right? They seen it all. Usually their husband dead or just left them for some younger chick. And they don't care no more. There's no like tiptoeing. They're usually smoking cigarettes and just like watching daytime television and shit. And all of them were hilarious. All of them snapped on me.
Yeah.
So that's how I learned how to snap.
Okay.
Because I always felt like awkward being big. Because people don't really like, when you're big, people look at you and they go, you probably big and strong. But nah, some niggas big and awkward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Some people don't know MONROE Martin is like, what are you, 6'5"?
I'm 6'5", 260.
That's wild.
Yeah,
bro.
and I was like this, I was like big like this for a while. And like, we live in a small world and you're bumping into everybody and shit like that. So you feel like uptight, and then you got your foster mom like, sit your big ass down, like fucking with you, but allowing you to be
coming in all big and goofy.
Yeah, like
just
watch where you go and knock your shit over. I used to get called Moose.
What?
Yeah, that was my nickname. It was some lady named Miss Gwen. She, like, I came in there, I think I was like standing there awkwardly because big niggas don't sit because we break shit. Big niggas don't sit down. Big niggas stand. You think you want to sit? Nah, because you ain't going to pin that on me. I will stand. And I don't like standing here because these floors been creaking. So you ain't going to blame me for any of this shit.
You just got a damage list? Like, I've done too much damage.
Oh, fuck that. But I remember just standing there awkwardly and knocking over her CD collection. She's like, fucking Moose. You're as big like a moose. Just knock this shit over. And then my two homies were there. And from there, everybody just was like, Moose! Moose!
Moose. Because they still did a cow, because I don't think people in the hood knew what a fucking moose was. People don't know a moose sound.
No moose sounds, nah.
Oh, shit. So nickname Moose. Moose. So it doesn't sound like you necessarily had, like you might have had hard elements to it, but you still had like loving people around you?
Absolutely, man. I had a balanced experience. I had some fucked up things happen, but then I had some really great things happen. And it's just balance. It's the duality in life. And you're just like, oh, okay, I understand this shit. I'm going to get something good. I'm going to get something bad because that's how the experience worked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So like I had good group homes and I had some group homes that were terrible. I had good foster homes and I had some foster homes where you're like sleeping in the basement and shit. And you're like, God damn, this is fucking terrible. You're like, it was just the car. They spent all that money on the car.
All the outside shit, nice as hell.
Yeah, all the outside shit. Like I remember moving from one home that was like the house was nice. I had my own little room and shit like that. And then I had to leave. I think it was probably behavioral problems and shit like that. And I had to leave, but the other foster parents I was with, they had a Cadillac. And it was like a fucking, like a DeVille, like a big body, fucking nice,
so enough
shiny
space for Moose to live.
Yeah, and you like, okay. You get to the house and they go, all right, go down to that basement. That basement?
What about up here?
What about up here? It's all nice. It was down there. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Did that make you appreciate the better elements of your life? Like when you went to a bad foster home, did you then try to like do better essentially?
No, not at all. I was a kid. I don't think I really like I had a good understanding of shit, and it wasn't like a do better thing. It was just like, this is the experience. There's really nothing I can do, because regardless of like how long I'm at a place, it's still up to my social worker or to where I go next. So it wasn't like I had an input. So it was kind of just like, you're just in cruise control. And it's like, all right, every day, here's the consistency. I have to go to school, I have to go to the doctor, and I have to go to after school program. You just go bloop, 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 bloop,
Oh,
bloop.
you ain't never tried to impress a family. You was
Nah,
never like, hey, man.
I don't know you niggas. I don't know y'all. Y'all good. Wait, should I be talking to the camera?
You good. So this is your camera, but
okay.
yeah, we got a couple, so we gonna get you regardless. But
no, and it worked, and it was like definitely like fucked me over.
Yeah.
Cause like when you have the same behavior, like you'll be in the bad homes and that behavior is justified, right? And then you go to a good home and they'll be like, "What the fuck? Why are you so evil?"
I thought it was the bad home, but it's just
like,
you.
Oh, it's me. Cause it takes you a while to fucking get that energy out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just got riled up. You just spent like a year and a half of your life getting riled up, and then they take you out, and now you like,
like a damaged pit bull or something.
That
like
makes me understand soldiers.
Oh, you had PTSD.
You got PTSD, and then you come home and you working at McDonald's and hear something drop. You're like, ah, fuck you up. Like,
what do you mean fries with that?
Yeah, like chill. Like,
whoa. Everybody's nice here.
Yeah.
That's what they said at the last place. That's fucking crazy, man. It's one of those things that that's why I enjoy your story so much, because not too many comedians, like something I've said before online and in person, I said most comedians are either sad rich kids or fun poor kids. That's my theory on comics, and you're one of those that have just such
fun poor nigga.
All the way.
All the way. All the way.
But you've had so many homes, and this, that, and the third, where it's like you have so much to draw from. So I want to ask two questions. One, when you first started, why didn't you go to all of this stuff? Was it too hard?
I didn't know I could use it. You didn't know. I will say, I don't know how to say this without sounding disrespectful.
Say it.
Because I know people are going to take it disrespectfully. So I started out in the urban circuit. I hate saying that.
Okay, I bet you I can tie it and make it, you'll be fine.
Okay, but I feel like when you're young and you're in that circuit, you see a lot of the same and you just do that. You see a lot of the people just going, I grew up poor in this and remember this and this, that, and the third and the TV and blah, blah, blah. So it's just like, when you're starting off, you just think you got to talk about that shit or you got to talk about fucking and the difference between women and all that shit. And I didn't really know that I can use my life, like my real life, in my comedy. Like I had like situations that I like would bring on stage, but it was like personal shit, but it wasn't really personal. It would be like, oh, I was trying to have sex with this girl in the pussy stank. Like that'd be like the most personal I ever got. And then everything else was just like an observational joke. Yeah. And I just kept it like that because that's what worked in that environment. And then you do it everywhere, but like it helped me get funny. I will say that. Like I learned how to write originally within that space. That helped me develop my funny, but then when I got to New York, that helped me put me in it.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
You started in Philly, and how old did you start?
I started at 21 or 22.
So still young enough where you're trying to figure stuff out.
You're just trying to figure stuff out, and you're going with works, and like if it got a laugh, you keep it. So, you know what I mean? Like
but that's not always the case.
And I had stupid jokes. I had jokes about Ninja Turtles because that got a laugh. I had jokes about slavery because that had a laugh. I got jokes about like so many dumb shit that was never connected to me because it got laughs. But then once I got into a place where you see everybody fucking, it's like, you know what I mean? Everybody's just out there doing
every
their
type
own
of
thing.
comedian.
Every type of comedian. I was like, oh, okay. All right, this is different. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. Where you say to yourself, oh,
where you can try it actually. Because I would say there was a little bit of, that's how I'll clean it up. There was that. There was those people in urban comedy who were a little above everyone else because they just figured out how to be themselves and not pander and shit like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? There were those comics who were just in there and they was like, I don't gotta talk about none of that shit because I'm just who I am, and they would fucking murder. But I didn't see myself as one of them people.
Yeah, because it might. I do. Like, for example, I'll give credit. Cause since we're shouting out a lot of comedians on this one in particular, Marshall Brandon is one of my favorites.
He is one of the best.
Yes, genuinely, Marshall Brandon. I will give him the credit every chance I get.
Yeah.
Where, especially when I was coming up, when I was like first starting out, I felt similar. I actually did. So a lot of my material, I started in comedy clubs and then transitioned into the hood.
Yeah.
And I was, especially because I was starting as a teenager, so a lot of my frustrations came like, why can't I talk about what I want to talk about?
Yeah.
I was so mad.
Yeah.
As I've progressed, I've understood. Like, I used to think urban room meant you can't say certain things because it's a black audience. Now I know 90% of the time, urban, what you're talking about, is just of a generation.
Yeah.
It's literally just people who were like young in the 90s.
Yeah.
So they just kind of don't, like, you look like their kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
and they don't have no respect for you.
Yeah.
They're like, what the fuck you talking about? So now you got to go up there and be like, yeah, you got to talk about shit that's above you.
Yes.
So you find people like doing these really intricate, well fucking thought out bits about relationships. You're like, motherfucker, you 22.
Yeah.
You don't know shit about relationships.
Yeah.
Your girlfriend still lives with her mom.
But you dragging it. You like, look, my mom went through this, and I understand it from like the outside looking in. But it took a level of growth. It took time. But Marshall's one of those people who I remember seeing and just being like, this shit is genius.
Fucking genius.
And like original, different, but like genuinely like a genius comic. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot of vulnerability to do that in certain environments, especially, you know, and I don't know if you agree with this, but within the urban community, within the black community. I don't like saying urban. I feel like a word.
That's what I
feel like a word white people made.
Urban, that's the real N-word.
Yeah, it do.
That's what it feels like. It feels like we definitely say the N-word now.
Yeah. Whenever they say we're looking for an urban, whenever they say they're looking for an urban, I'm like, what?
They want somebody who just got done eating chicken.
Yeah.
They come in, they're like, what a contract, baby? And they fucking sign in and leave crumbs on it.
They don't book you unless your finger's greasy.
Yeah, they were like, let me see. No, I'm sorry.
Too dry. Yeah, but like within the black community, you know, you got the hood scene where it takes a lot to just make it in general, and then they put the pressure on you, because I spoke to another comedian about it. You feel an underlying pressure of like, yo, I gotta be the best. I gotta talk, I gotta win every time. I can't take a risk. But half of comedy
is risk taking. Like all of comedy is risk taking. There's no playing it safe in comedy. This is all a gamble. It's a strategic gamble because you can always find a way to fucking get somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you ain't taking chances, then what's the point? I feel like then it's just a job at that point.
And that's not why you got into it.
I can fucking sign an application and do what people say, but I don't wanna. I like showing up late. I like fucking shit. There's so much shit that comedy allows me to do. It allows me to be a piece of shit and feel productive about it. I fucking love it. Where else am I gonna go?
I don't gotta come on time. Thank God. Because I've been late everywhere.
Every fucking where. Like,
oh shit, man. So when it comes to that, what is like, is there a difference between like your regular life energy and like your comedic like writing style?
No, it's the same, man. I would say it's the same. And that's probably what makes me annoying, because I'm the same person on stage, off stage. Like, I'll say some fucked up shit on stage for a laugh, and I'm gonna say some fucked up shit off stage for a laugh. And it's like, I'll say it, like, I'm to the point where I'm like saying fucked up shit to my grandma, and I'm like, my bad, shit.
Wow.
Because comedy's allowed me to be so free. That when you are around other people, like people who don't get the luxury of doing this, they're like, nigga, you wildin'. And I'm like, no, I'm not wildin'. This is just my world. Enjoy this shit. I'm allowed you to enjoy the space.
Yep. Have your family, because in my case, me and my mom and my pops have gotten closer. The more they've come to accept stand-up, like my pops will call me and we'll talk about him, like I'm working on stage now. We'll talk about him dying. He'll be like, hey, what you gonna dress me like at my funeral? Like, he wants to know shit like that. He's playing. My mom's like, oh yeah, I talk to my boss more relaxed, especially as they get older, because they care less. Because some about older people, they just stop caring.
Yeah. You got older parents, right?
Yeah.
I made a joke about you.
Yeah.
But I gotta bring that joke back. Okay.
Yeah, because it's like both my parents are like my dad's 60, my mom's like late 50s, so they're both just like, yo, we don't care anymore, and we like stand-up, what you've showed us about stand-up, because now we get that freedom. Yeah. So that idea is amazing. So besides the fact that it's cathartic for you, you also, like, when it comes to your writing ability, do you go, like, are you like to sit down?
You know what I enjoyed? This.
Yes.
I stopped really like trying to write the joke out all the way, because that's what I used to do. Okay. Right? You write it out, because everybody's like, man, you gotta write, you gotta be sick with the writing. And you do, because like if you want a job and shit like that, like you just need to know how your funny looks on paper. Mm-hmm. That's why I really learned that part, because I wanted to be able to make sure that like when they transcribe my shit, it makes sense and it's not just all personality. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. People don't realize sometimes you get a gig and you gotta, well, can you elaborate on the transcribe?
So when you get like a gig, they'll transcribe your set for you and then go, this is what you can't say, this is what you can say, this is what you can't say. Like when you're doing shit on like TV and stuff like that, they'll like do the whole transcribe and they'll be like, all right, we're gonna cut this joke out, this joke, then this joke, and can you do this joke like this? Like when I did Fallon, I had to move around some pieces. And it was like, thank God that I knew how to write, because they suggested it. Like, we'll suggest that you move this bit here. And I'm like, but this is the punchline for this joke. That don't make sense if I move it here. Mm-hmm. And they're like, trust me, it'll work. And then I looked at the joke, and I was like, oh, it also works there. Like, okay. But I wouldn't have known that if I didn't actually have like ability to write. Mm-hmm. But what I enjoy doing is I like having a bunch of thoughts. I jot them down, and then I'll call my friend who I like feel like a different friend for a different chunk. Yeah. Because people have different personalities. If I want to go the smarter route, I'm gonna call Chloe or Dave. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Cause like they're both smart. They both like. They read a lot and shit like that. So I'm like, let me call my friends
I knew you were about to say they read a lot. Like I saw it in his face.
Why does read a lot mean smart?
Yeah, they clearly read a lot.
They read a lot. I read a little. I read until I get sleepy. And then I'm like, it's nap time.
I read until I get sleepy too. But I can do an audiobook. An audiobook I can
That's
do.
That's just a podcast.
Yeah, I can do those.
Yeah, I feel like you learn more when you're reading, and it takes me like a month to read a book. But I'm like, I learned so many more words, you know? But I call my friends now. Like I called Derek before I got here because a thought popped in my head, and he's like, I'll write a joke or think of something that's fucked up, and I know he says a lot of fucked up shit, and he enjoys it. So if he's like, that's too much, I'm like, all right, cool.
That might be too much.
And then I'm like, but I'm gonna still try it. Yeah. Like, I just asked you for your opinion. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna still do it just to see if you're right or not. Yeah. But yeah, I just call people.
Just communicate.
And just trust that they won't make a similar joke on stage. Mm-hmm. That's kind of it, because I know that's hard too. Mm-hmm. Like I'm literally putting a fucking thought in your head and asking you for help with it, and now you got to sit there with it in your head too.
And just pretend like, all right, don't use any of this.
I can't even tag any of this in my own shit. Yeah. So not as hard, but if I'm writing and I'm trying to work out the joke on my own, I can get it done, but it's just not as fun. I feel like comedy is a conversation anyway. Yeah. So why shouldn't I just be in a conversation and figure out the conversation about it? So when I bring it to stage, it's not, hey, so you haven't worried. I'm just in it already. I'm just like, what's up? I was hanging out with my dad, or I was reconnecting with my dad, and now it's already the conversation.
You find the organic flow in it instead of trying to force what it is. Have you seen now, being as I perceive you to be as observant, do you see comics who do that, and like how do you feel about that type of energy? Do you feel like it doesn't always resonate with the audience?
What do you mean?
Being so studious, like in that way?
No, I feel like what works for you, works for you. There's no one way to do comedy, man. That's like my least favorite thing about comedy is people always go, that shit ain't that. What the fuck is he doing? It's just like, he just expressing himself. That's how he thinks he's funny. So you gotta let them explore that. So I feel like whatever works for a person works. You know what I mean? And I can appreciate it all. Some of my favorite comics do not tell jokes like me. You know what I mean? Like, I like John Mulaney because it's just like boop, 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 boop. But it's fucking great.
Yeah.
It's like, people describe it as like so well written. But I think it's beyond well written because y'all ain't reading that shit, y'all hearing it. Yeah. So it's so well delivered. Like, he's delivering it very, like, the breaths are being taken when they're supposed to, like, everything's so purposeful. Yeah. That it's like, I love that shit.
It's like a song, like a crafted song. You're like, everybody can't make a hit.
Yeah.
A hit is hard to do in any genre.
Yeah.
A hit joke?
Yeah.
Woo.
So I like stuff like that because people always will, like, they'll hear me say that and they go, oh, you're nothing like him. I would have never thought. You think I only like people who like me? Don't even make sense. Yeah. How am I gonna learn anything if I'm only soaking in shit that I feel is similar to me?
Yeah, no. You need to. So what type of information do you take in? Saying that, do you take in? So you take in. Obviously you take in like your friends, your family. What type of medias do you take in? Like, are you a news guy?
I don't know how to shut that shit off, man. Everything, fucking social media, the goddamn TV, the news, the podcast. Like, it's too much shit to the point where you start feeling sad. Now I get this shit. Now I understand why everybody's sad. Because before, I didn't give a fuck about social media. Like, that's why I don't got no followers, because I don't give a fuck. I'll post some shit every 2 months and then expect people to show up to shows. I'm like, why y'all didn't come to my show? You didn't say shit.
Yo, we thought you died.
Yo, I hate when people go, where you been at? I've been out, just not on social media. So I'm trying to get better with that. Yeah. But getting better with that, like, I'm on it more and I'm seeing other people's lives and I know the news from their lives and I know the world news and I know too much shit where I'm like, I'm sad, nigga. I'm sad. My life is great. And I'm fucking sad.
Oh, wow, I'm sad.
I know too much. Yeah, why am I so sad? Because I know too much shit now. I'm seeing everybody's fucking life.
Yeah, so it's like, all right, you either stay dumb and happy.
Yo.
Or you know a lot, but you guess it's hard to do that. Yeah. Like, would you be interested in doing shows like a weekend update or stuff like that, where you got to take in the news all the time?
I could only do something like that if they would allow me to do it like this.
Okay.
If I was able to write the jokes, if the jokes didn't have to be delivered so sharp and like that, if I could just sit down and talk to somebody and be like, yo, this is what's going on, boom, 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 and give my real opinion, then I would do something like that. You know, I'm like a Deezus and Mero type show, because I think that's what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would rather do that, because that's more organic. Also, that's the funniest format. No disrespect, I feel like those other shows, like the John Olivers and shit like that, is funny and once again is very like purposeful, but also like that shit that's just laid back and then somebody says some accidental funny shit.
It's always, even when watching them late night shows, it's always when they break character where you feel the most fun.
Yeah, you're like,
I like that. But can we do that for the whole show? Can they just break character? Yeah, because I think we all, and I could be wrong here, but we all get into it in that way.
Yeah.
No comedian is just like, I saw a piece of paper and just knew all the funny secrets. I don't think, anyway.
Yeah.
I might find them on this show, but I know no comedian that started that way. Yeah. It's all like, hey man, life was hard and I had to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a very good way to go about it. You go through positive, you make solid choices, got married. I don't know if you want to talk about
the ring. You see this shit shining?
I guess.
This shit is shining, nigga. Don't say you
No,
guess.
I got.
Say don't guess. No, my wife act like she knew something.
Dang, you really did it, man.
That shit is shining.
That's one of the things that's very hard, because most comedians, it's 50-50, right? A lot of comedians don't settle down because they go the artist route of, I don't want.
Nah, they just want fuck bitches. Like, that's what it is. It's like you don't want the responsibility. You want to be able to take whatever the fuck comes at you. You know, and you just want to be always ready to go and move with the fun. But I don't know. I didn't, after a while, I was like, I don't care too much about that. I'm like, I can do that. I can still have a fun life and go with life with somebody, and it's just a different, you know what I mean?
You can have a partner, you can develop.
Because I don't think, like, I've heard, because I was like that. Because I was so anti-relationship that I'm like, nah, I'm going to focus on being an artist. But it wasn't the artistry.
You ain't paint nothing.
You ain't paint shit. None of that shit. You just wanted to be able to go home with a chick who went, I like you. What you doing? That's it. That's it.
That's it. So for people listening, stop lying to yourself.
Stop lying to yourself. Everybody's like, you just want to fuck interesting people. And you don't want to lose that ability to. You don't want to meet somebody interesting and have that we could fuck energy and then not be able to explore that.
Jesus
and motherfuckers
Christ.
just admit that. It's like, I don't want to get married because I may want to fuck other people. Just say that shit. Instead of being like, I'm not ready and the world is my oyster. That nigga's oysters get sucked.
Oh, man. Oysters get sucked? I'm not ready. The world is my oyster. That is dumb. I don't know, because what I'll say, I can only speak for as a dude.
Yeah.
No dude talk like that in real life. Like, that's only something you tell a woman you're trying to convince.
Yes.
With because you don't say it to another dude.
No.
I've never looked at you and be like, hey, brother, the world is my oyster.
It's all this shit you try to get, you're like coming up with so you can be like, how do I get this bitch out of my house? Because she been coming here for a month. She asking for keys and shit. Baby, it's just that I want to focus on the craft. And it's just like...
And what I'll acknowledge, and bro, you know, or I assume, the craft has a lot of downtime.
The craft has a lot of downtime, and what you do in between that downtime feeds the fucking craft again. Because if you ain't got nothing going on in your life, what you gonna talk about? You have no choice but to be observational. You have no choice but to make up shit too.
Yeah.
But when you're living that shit, you could bring it. You're coming because you're living life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
that's why I ended up getting married, because I'm like, I'm gonna live life. Like, I did a bunch of shit that I didn't think I was gonna do. Like, one, do comedy, be successful at it, travel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, leave the country and go somewhere else and do that shit. And I'm like, I want to keep adding to that. Let me keep doing other things I've never done. You know what I mean? And I'm not one of those people who would be like, what if it don't work out? I was like, so? So? I don't give a shit.
Don't matter to me.
How much shit worked out for you? You telling me you're here now because everything worked out.
Yeah, wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
I'm like, so everything worked out? Okay, if everything worked out, you're here now, huh?
You could fail anyway, so it doesn't even. So you look at it and just say, "I'm trying something." It's not the end all to be all.
It's not the fucking end of the world. Just like you just love life and they'll love you back, and that's how I feel.
Wow, that's
just like do your thing and be happy with it, and fucking bring that shit to the stage. Because there's so many different type of comics, and if everybody's trying to do the same thing, then that's when you get those shows where the comics. Like, and I'm guilty of it too, but every comic will go up there and will kind of have the same junk on different, you know what I mean? We all got the COVID and shit. But the COVID is a little off because we literally just...
It's new. It's
new.
Everybody has at least a year to just figure out what's staying, what's leaving.
Yeah, but it's like, what else do you got besides that? Because those jokes are great, but then... If you're doing a 15-minute set, that's 5 minutes. What you doing for the rest 10?
Yeah, who are you?
Who are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. And conveying that level. I've known this before, but as we're talking, you genuinely have a very, like, oh, I'm happy doing this.
What you mean, comedy?
Like, yeah, is it like, I don't know, do you have any,
fuck
like...
that shit.
What's up? Talk to me.
Comedy, no.
Yeah.
Man, I love it, and and it also makes me understand other shit, too, right? Just like addictions. Because I will say this is it's an addiction, but also this is my fucking freedom. Like, there's so much freedom in this business. Not even on the being able to sleep all day type shit, but also to be able to, like, say what I want and like say my ideas and then, like, put them out there. You know what I mean? And, like, and develop shit and just keep, like, working on your shit so you can create a better life. And this is one of those things where you can just find a bunch of avenues to get paid. Whereas if you had a job, you're just trying to really work within that job and move your way up. You don't have to move your way up. You can move around and do so much shit.
And still move up, but you're like in a spiral, in a weird...
you're just fucking going up the staircase.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
that's my relationship with it. But I never hate it. There's just certain elements of it where you're just like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, the element of it is you do forget that it's a business no matter how friendly you are with someone. You know what I mean? Like, it's still a business. The business will be talked about and business moves will be made whether they are or are not in your favor. And people act differently in business, so you got to deal with different personalities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's like my least favorite thing is just like you may get people who are genuine, then you get some people who use genuine to kind of
push
the thing in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like
I was talking with another comedian prior to one of these interviews, which was they were just saying like, yeah, man. Talk to some people and they are not nice. Like they're not a fun person to be around.
I don't expect people to be nice. That's not bad. Because I don't like why do people here's my thing. Like when that whole Ellen thing happened, I'm like, why is that a thing now? That everybody has to be nice? Isn't that what y'all were yelling at women about? Smile. Smile. Why you smile? Why you talk to me like that? You a bit like women were saying they hated us for that shit, and now we're doing that collectively to people. Going, they're so mean. It's like, nigga, work is hard sometimes, and people don't do what the fuck you hired them for. And some people you gotta yell at, and you gotta talk shit about them, and you gotta talk shit to them, because you're like, this is an environment that pays my bills and everybody else's bills, and it's not always gonna be a happy environment because people fuck up.
Yeah.
I may come in here with the wrong attitude one day. You might. Whatever, but I'm the boss, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I don't care about what you talk about. You don't know what it's like.
Like we all went to public school. Public school, everybody talks about the nice teacher. You know why? Because all the motherfuckers was mean. Everybody goes, oh, this teacher was so nice. And there's like 100 teachers that work there. That's the nicest one because they fucking evil. And school teaches that people ain't nice.
Public school teaches that.
Public school teaches people ain't nice. Yeah. Actually, I think people mislabel it anyway. Sorry.
Okay.
Is that it's friendly, because nice is what you do. Nice is your actions.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
It'll be nice of you to give me some water.
No,
don't give me no water.
I know what you mean.
But I'm saying, that's a nice thing to do. But friendly is just disarming people.
If I gave you water like this,
and making people feel better around you. Yeah. But you're like, hey, what's up? How you doing? But those people are, because friendly can suck because that's a weapon. Yeah. People can be friendly to get you, nigga, fucking Jeffrey Dahmer was friendly. He ate faces. Jeffrey Dahmer was friendly? That's what you want?
Because it's like, for the water example, it's like a nice person gets you water. A friendly person would just dance around you, but you still thirsty.
Yeah,
like, you still want water.
Like, shit, yeah, man. Nah, we good. We don't even need no water, man. Your body, 92% water. You know that?
All you gotta do is hug yourself, and that's water right there.
Friendly is a distraction sometimes.
Yeah.
But nice is the action, and I'm like, I don't expect everybody to be either of those things, especially friendly. Yeah. I feel like most people are nice depending on the situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody's nice when they can afford it. But when they can't, get the fuck out of here.
When they have money, broke people be mean.
They gotta be time or money. Do they got the time to do it? They'll be like, I'll help you out. Or they got the means to do it. Yeah. But if they got neither, get that fuck.
If you don't got money or time, why are you even nice?
Yeah.
You are too happy for this level of trauma. Like. That's very odd, because now I'm thinking about all the people in my life who were like mean. I was like, they probably were missing something.
They were mean, but you know what I mean? They did nice shit too. They probably did some nice shit.
Yeah.
They probably came through when you didn't expect it because they had either the time or the money.
Yeah.
Because nice people are always thinking in advance. I feel like nice people are thoughtful. But the thoughtful isn't a consistent thing. Thoughtful is like every once in a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you actually can't be nice to, not saying you can't be nice to everybody, you try to,
you can't.
But you gonna miss somebody.
Yeah, you gonna miss somebody.
Yeah, that's what New York City teaches, because you're from Philly, so I know. Are you from a small town in Philly? What's the energy?
A small town in Philly?
You know what I mean? Like
that's some New York shit.
Yeah, like that.
Are you from a small town in Philly?
Like some cul-de-sac block or some bullshit? Like,
No. Philly is very, it's like New York, just a little bit more spread out. Because of foster care, I lived all around. So I lived in different parts of PA, lived in different parts of like PA, the state, like, you know what I mean? And then different sections of the city, north, south, east. I was about to say east like an idiot. North, south, fucking northeast Jersey, and like different suburbs. So I lived everywhere. Yeah. That's why I know people. That's why I feel like I know people, because I actually got to live with people and different personalities and shit. Yeah. And yeah, they were all black, but it's like, that don't matter.
Yeah. If you meet 20 people, it don't matter the color. That's 20 different people.
Yeah, it's 20 different people. Yeah. It's not the same thing because of the color of the skin. Yeah. So, but with like, I still got to meet like different like people even outside the home. So I'm very like, I'm motherfucker, that friendly shit. That's very friendly. Every time I would have the most friendly fucking child advocates and shit like that. And they were like, oh, how you doing? And shit like that. And then you got to move to another fucking group home far out. But then you get that one that's just mean. And then every once in a while he buys you a donut. And then you eat that donut. And then he may give you some good news or some shit like that. And you're like, I trust this person over this bubbly bitch. She up to something.
This bubbly bitch, she's trying to calm me down.
Bubbly bitch trying to calm me down.
She about to give me bad news.
She about to give me bad news. He's like, yo, take this donut. I know your life is fucked up. Yeah. Eat this, man. Eat this shit. It's good, right? Yeah. And they treat you because they already know.
Wow.
They just, yeah.
Yeah, it's the idea that sometimes what you're seeing is not honestly their intent. It's just what they're putting out.
Yeah, and then seeing that, and I seen that as a kid a lot. But then I subscribe to it in comedy. So it's like one of the things I hate, but it's an occupational hazard. Like I have to do it. You know what I mean? Like there's no other way around it for me to gain the things I need to get. It's just like I got to deal with people like that. Yeah. And it's just like I got to shut the fuck up. And that's it. I can't be like, he was mean. I was going like, well, at least they got craft services. You know what I mean?
At least I came late. What can I do here? I was late. Yeah, that's very fair, bro. So, man, I've thoroughly enjoyed this. So,
no, I appreciate it, man. I'm having a good time, yo.
If I could ask you one thing, because how I like, this is your main camera.
I know, I just like doing this. I'm just like, guy.
If I could ask you something, because you have like a plethora of knowledge. So if you could share something with, this is your main camera. If you could share something with either young you,
me.
I go young you, somebody, an artist that is watching this right now that like you feel like has been hanging on to every word you said. So you sitting there, they're like, oh my God, Monroe is me. I'm Monroe, or I think like him, or I agree with these thoughts. What would be like some closing thing you could say?
I would just say, for me, one of my biggest problems is, and I still practice that, is just moving forward. Like I said, I'm not afraid to try shit, but sometimes you'll get exhausted from trying shit. Because you'll try a lot of it. We all know this shit. You try 100, maybe 2 work. But you just got to keep doing. Now you know you got to do 102 things in order to get forward. Like, you know what I mean? You got to just keep fucking going. And I would say that. I would just go try everything, because the shit you don't try, you can't correct it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I hate saying regrets, but there's certain things where I'm like, man, I wish I would have done that, because some things were timely. Yeah. And I wish I would have just did it in that moment, because if you don't like it, you can always take it down and fucking redo it and remix it to the way you want to make it.
Yeah, but at least you have it.
Because things aren't as permanent as they used to be. You know what I mean? You wrote a book, nigga, it was done because it was a printing press. It was like, we fucking printed them all. What do you mean you had a typo? Some people thought you was dumb. Everybody With the internet, you can fix shit, and you can always just like keep working on shit and changing things. And I would say if you're like me, because I don't know who's like me, but if you're like me, that's one of my problems, is just, it's not a problem of mine because I practice that. I'm just like, I have a thought, I'm going to see it through, and I'm going to keep going, and I don't give a fuck if it's bad or whatever. That's why, that's how I write my jokes. I'm like, I'm going to tell all these jokes. I don't give a fuck if they're not funny or not. I have to know. Yeah. And then you just keep going like that. So I say, try everything, take the risk, and fucking just like, if you don't put it out, you can't fix it. You don't know if it sucks. Yeah.
That's fucking.
To the camera, baby.
Yeah, with the dramatic eyebrow, with the rock eyebrow. Yeah. That's fucking fire, man. Dude, I enjoyed this. Thank you for just giving me a piece of your day.
Man. I had a good time, y'all. This was fun, y'all.
Yeah.
When this come out?
You know what, man? It's coming out.
Motherfuckers don't know.
No.
When this come out, and they be like,
nah, you know what? We're gonna get it out actually extremely soon because you know you're getting a lot of gems. So we like to share these clips on Instagram, Facebook, and that's to everybody here who's gonna watch this show. Check it out. Subscribe to the page on Instagram, Facebook, all of that. Continue follow and applaud the amazing fucking Monroe Martin.
This dude deserves it. You see how quick he was, and he's like in the camera, like, hey, do that thing. I'm like, see?
Yeah,
I like
bro.
that shit. Good energy.
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate you. One more time. And we out, man. Thank you, bro.
All right, man. Yo, appreciate it, yo.
No problem, man.
Thank
For
you.
real. That was like a good time.
That was fun.
Hey guys, thank y'all for watching Behind the Mic Stand. If y'all enjoyed it, as I think you did, because you made it to the end, like, subscribe, make sure you hit that notification button so you hear the subscriptions and shit. You know how it works. Just like it. Stop skipping this part and do it right now. What? Somewhere right here. I think it's right here.